In this video tutorial you will be learning that is Python Lambda, Python arrays, Python class and objects, and Python inheritance. So you will see step by step each program of all the types that we are learning, that is Python Lambda, Python arrays, Python classes and object, and Python inheritance. Starting with Python Lambda. Now Python Lambda function is a small anonymous function. A Lambda function can take any number of arguments but can only have one expression. Syntax: Lambda argument expression. First you have to use Lambda argument and then you have to give expression. So this is the syntax. Here we will see the syntax. The expression is executed and the result is printed. Here the expression will be executed and result will be printed. And here is the syntax of the Lambda. Lambda function that adds 10 to the number passed is an argument and print the result. First we will see the expression syntax, that is Lambda argument. Here is the argument a colon and expression a plus 10 is the expression. Now this everything is stored in x. Now print x and 5. So what will happen? That will add 10 to the number passed in as an argument. So 15 will be printed over here. Now you can see the output, that is 15 over here. Now we will do one more program, that is Lambda function can take any number of arguments. So it can take any number of argument. Here it was written Lambda function can take any number of argument. Lambda function that multiplies argument a with argument b and prints the result. Now you can see over here, here is the syntax of the Lambda argument over here. Now I am putting over here argument, that is a multiplied by b, and that everything is stored in x. Now print x, that is 5 into 6, that will be 30, and 30 the output got printed over here. Now a Lambda function that sums argument a, b and c and print the result. Now here is the syntax of the Lambda, and here it will print x, and what is stored in x, that is a plus b plus c, and that is 5 plus 6 plus 2, that is 13. 5 plus 6 11, and 11 plus 2 13. Now print why use Lambda function. The power of Lambda is better shown when you use them as an anonymous function inside another function. Say you have a function definition that takes one argument and that argument will be multiplied with an unknown number. Use that function definition to make a function that always doubles the number you send in. Now here I am using function, defining the function by the name my function, return Lambda a colon a multiplied by n. Now my doubler, I am using it and I am putting my function my function over here and storing the variable, that is 2. Now what is happening over here, say you have a function definition that takes one argument and the other argument will be multiplied with an unknown number. So this is the unknown number, it will be multiplied. Use the function definition to make a function. So I had used function definition, you can see over here def. So I had used a function definition over here that always doubles the number that you send in. So what will happen over here, since I have used the function definition, I have used the syntax. I had used a my doubler method over here, and I again call my function, and I'm taking the and it will be multiplied with an unknown number that is stored over here, it's 11. So 11 2s are 22, so 22 will be output. Again I am reading over here, the power of Lambda is better shown when you use them as an anonymous function inside another function. Say you have a function definition that takes one argument and that other argument, and that argument will be multiplied with an unknown number. You can see over it getting multiplied with an unknown number. Use that function definition to make a function that always doubles the number you send in. So now the number will get double. So by using my doubler over here, and in that way my output 22 will be printed. Or the same program I am using over here, but instead of doubler I am using over here tripler. Or use the same function definition to make a function that always triples the number you send in. I am defining my function. Here I am using the syntax of Lambda. Now I am using my triple over here method, and I am calling my function in that variable 3 store, and I am calling over here my tripler in that a number is stored, that is 11. So 11 multiplied by 3, 33 will be the output. In this way 33 will be printed. Or use the same function definition to make both function in the same program. So both the function I am using my doubler and my tripler and I'm using in the same program. Again define my function using the syntax of Lambda, and I'm calling over here my function and my function 2 by using my doubler and my tripler. In that I have stored the value 2 and 3. So doubler will use 11 twos and tripler will use 11 threes. So 22 and 33 will be my output. So Lambda was so simple and so easy. Now we are starting, that is another topic, that is Python arrays. Note, Python does not have built-in support for arrays, but Python list can be used instead. Arrays are used to store multiple values in one single variable. Create an array containing car names. Now we are creating an array that contains car name. Now car is my array. In that I am storing that is Ford, Volvo and BMW. Print cars. So what is stored in cars? That is Ford, Volvo and BMW. So Ford, Volvo, BMW will be printed over here. Now what is an array? An array is a special variable which can hold more than one value at a time. So you can hold more than one value at a time in an array. Access the element of an array. You can refer to an array element by referring to the index number. Now here we will access the element and we will access by referring to an index number. How we will do it, we'll see through a program. Now get the value of the first array item, Ford, Volvo and BMW. As we know, 0 is my first value. So I'm accessing what? 0 index value. And print x. So what will happen in the output? Ford will be printed over here. Now modify the value of the first array item. Now how to modify? Now 0 is my first, because through the index number 0. So the Ford will be replaced by what? Toyota, because I am using the replacement. So Toyota will be printed instead of Ford. Now you can see over here Ford, Volvo, BMW. Instead of that, Toyota, Volvo and BMW has been printed. Now we will see the length of an array. Use the length method to return the length of an array. The number of elements in an array. How many items are there in this? Ford, Volvo and BMW. 3 items are there. So 3 will be printed over here in the length of an array. You can see over here 3 has been printed. Now we will use what? Looping array element. You can use the for in loop to loop through all the elements of an array. Print each item in a car array. Car is equal to Ford, Volvo, BMW. For x in car, for means I am using a for loops, so it will print through a loop, for in loop, that is Ford, Volvo and BMW. Now you can add array elements also. You can use the append method to add an element to an array. If I want to add, which method I have to use? I have to use append method, then only I can add an array. Now you can see over here my car is an array in that Ford, Volvo, BMW store. Now I am calling my car array and using dot append method, and I am adding what? By using append method, that is Honda. So now 4 values will be printed, that will be Ford, Volvo, BMW and Honda. You can see the output over here. 4 has been printed, 4 value, print cars. Now removing array element, you can use the pop method to remove an element from the array. Delete the second element of the car. Now the second element is what? Volvo. 0, Ford is my first and Ford is my 0 and Volvo is the first. Now in this second element is Volvo, so I am removing Volvo. So what will happen? Ford and BMW will be printed. Car.pop 1, 1 is my Volvo, but it is in second element. Print cars. So what will happen? The first will be that Volvo will be removed, because Ford is my 0 and Volvo is 1, but it is in second element, but through index number it is 1. So using dot pop, I am removing Volvo. So Ford and BMW will be printed over here. You can see over here Ford and BMW has been printed. Now you can also use the remove method to remove an element from the array. Delete the element that have a value Volvo. So wherever is the Volvo is there, so I can remove a particular element also. So now what will happen? Volvo will be removed and Ford and BMW will be printed over here. You can see over here Ford and BMW has been printed. Note, the list removes method only remove the first occurrence of the specified value. Now we are starting another topic, that is Python class and object. Now Python is an object oriented programming. Almost everything in Python is an object with its property and method. Now here we have to focus more on properties and method. A class is like an object constructor or a blueprint for creating an object. Create a class. To create a class, use the keyword class. So I'm using a class, okay, I'm using the keyword that is class. Class name is my class, x is equal to 1, okay, that is okay. I have stored the variable, okay. Now print my class. Now what will happen, it will show its blueprint. So in this way, okay, you have to use, okay, to create any object and classes in the Python. So class underscore main underscore class. So this is just a blueprint. Now we'll start, okay, with the actual program over here. Create an object. Now we can use the class name my class to create an object. Class name is my class, okay. I had created, okay, x over there. I have stored, okay, in the variable 5 in the x. Now p1 is my object, okay, over here. I had called, okay, the name of my class, that is my class. Now I will print through an object. What is my object name? That is p1, and x, what is stored in x? That is 5. So 5 will be printed over here. You can see over here 5 has been printed. Now the underscore int underscore function, the example above are classes and object in their simplest form and are not useful in real life application. To understand the meaning of class, we have to understand the built-in init function. All class have a function called init, which is always executed when the class has been initiated. Use the init function to assign the values to object, properties or other operations that are necessary to do when the object is been created. Create a class named person using the init function to assign values for name. Now we have to use over here init function. Now class name is the person. Now I'm defining init, okay. In that I have kept the object that is self, and I have put the name that is name and age. So I'm calling, okay, here, okay, my properties self dot name. In that name is there, self dot age, in that age is there. Now here p1, I am creating an object, okay, by the name p1. In that I am calling, okay, my class person, and that name I am storing the name Abbas, and in the age I am storing that is 35. Now print as like the object will be printed over here. P1 dot name, in name what is stored? Abbas is stored. P1 again is my object. In age what is stored? 35 will be stored. So Abbas and 35 will be printed over here. You can see over here. Now we'll see the another program. Object methods. Object can also contain methods. Method in objects are function that belong to the object. Let us create a method in the person class. So now we are creating, okay, a method in the person class. Insert a function that prints a greeting and execute on the p1 object. So we are creating a function that prints a greeting and that will execute on p1 object. So for now first we have to create a class, okay, by the name person. I'm defining init, okay, self name age. Now I'm creating a method also over here. Self dot name is equal to name, self dot age is equal to age. Now I'm defining my function over here, and I'm calling, okay, my method over here. Now I'm printing what? Hello, my name is equal to self dot name. Now here is my object name p1. I'm calling my class over here person. Now in the name I had stored Abbas, and age is 35. Now here is my object p1. Okay, I'm calling, okay, through a function. Now what will happen? It will print what has been stored. Okay, it is stored Abbas and 35. Now here print hello, my name is plus self dot name. Now in self dot name, okay, what is stored in name? That is Abbas. So the output will be hello, my name is Abbas. Here it has been there. Hello, my name is Abbas. So whatever has been called, that has been printed over here. Your self dot name only has been called. So in the self dot name, okay, Abbas is there. So what will happen inside a function that prints a greeting and execute it on p1 object. So we are executing on over here on the p1 object over here. You can see over here object methods. Object can also contain methods. Method in the object are function that belongs to the object. Let us create a method in the person class. So we have created a method, okay, in the person class. This is the person class, okay, and here we have created a method, and through a method, okay, we have printed, okay, hello name, hello, my name is Abbas. Now the self parameters. The self parameters is a reference to the current instance of the class. So it is a reference of a current instance of the class and is used to access variables that belong to the class. It does not have to be named self. You can call it whatever you like, but it has to be the first parameter of any function in the class. Now class person, now I am defining in it my silly object name age, my silly object dot name is equal to name, my silly object dot name is equal to age. So this is the object. Here I am defining my function. The method is I had defined over here abc. Print hello, my name is abc dot name. P1 is my object person Abbas. So what will happen, hello my name is whatever is the name, Abbas is there, so hello my name is Abbas will be printed over here. Now you can see the other program also over here. Here the function name was was self only, and here we have made it abc. So it does not have to be name self. You can call whatever you like, but it has to be first parameter of any function in the class. Modify. So here the output hello my name is Abbas has been printed. So we have called hello my name is Abbas dot name. What is Abbas dot abc dot name? That is Abbas. Now modify the object properties. You can modify properties on object like this. The class name is person. I am defining in it self name age. Self dot name is equal to name. Self dot age is equal to age. Here I am defining my function calling myself. Over here print hello my name is self dot name. So what it will be print over here, hello my name is Abbas. Now but what will happen, here object has been created. Here I am again I am calling my object, and that I am making modifying the object properties. Now in the object properties what is it was stored, that was 35. Now in the object properties I had modified the object properties and I had made it 40. Now what will happen, whatever is been modified, that it will be printed. Now it will be printed what, only age. This will not be printed if I have not modified. So what will happen, as we had seen in the other program, hello my name is Abbas will be printed as it is. But since we had modified, so what will happen, the modification what we had printed at the last by calling through an object and the method, that will be printed. So here only age will be printed, that will be 40, what we had modified. Now the pass statement. The class definition cannot be empty, but if you are for some reason have a class definition with no content, put in the pass statement to avoid getting an error. Here the output will not be printed, but however it will not throw an error. So having an empty class definition look like this will raise an error without a pass statement. If you have not put the pass statement, it will definitely raise an error. Now I'll start another topic, that is Python inheritance. Now inheritance allows us to define a class that inherits all the methods and properties. So here it will inherit all the methods and property from another class. Parent class is the class being inherited from, also called as base class. So parent class, where it has been inherited, it is called as base class. Child class is the class that inherits from another class. So child class will inherit from another class, that is called as derived class. Create a parent class. Any class can be a parent class. So the syntax is the same as creating any other class. So the syntax will be the same. Create a class by the name person. We have created a class by the name person with the first name and last name as properties. Now first name and last name will be the properties. Here we can see over here, and the print method name, and we are using print method name over here. You can see over here first name and last name will be the properties and a print name method. Now we are using here print name method. So what will happen over here, whatever has been stored in the first name and last name, that will be printed. Use the person class to create an object and execute the print method. So here I had created an object by the name x is equal to, I am calling the object name is x and the person is my class. In that I had stored Zara and Hassan. So what it will be printed over here through an object, I am calling the object, and Zara and Hassan, the output will be printed over here. You can see the output over here written as Zara and Hassan. Use the student class to create an object and then execute the print method. Class person, define the underscore in int is equal to self first name and last name. Now here what we are use the student class to create an object. So here I'm using okay student class over here, and I'm creating an object and then executing the print method. Here the class name is person, definition defining in it self first name last name. So here I'm okay using first name last name, and here I'm calling here self over here. Now print self first name and last name, class student person over here. So here I'm creating okay a one more class by the name student. So what it says, okay, the output, use the student class to create an object. So here I have created okay student class to create an object and then execute the print name method. Now here I had called okay student class and then inherited from the parent class, that is class over here, that is person. And then what will happen over here, you through the student class okay that is inherited from person, Zara and Hassan will be printed. So here we had created two class, one is parent and another is child. Okay, so through the student class we had created an object and then execute the using by the print name method. Okay, I had created the object X, okay, and through the object okay it got printed, and the output is Zara and Hassan again over here you can see. To keep the inheritance of the parent int function and call to the parents int function. Call person, class name is the person. I'm using okay int method over here, and I'm here using okay first name and last name okay over here, and calling over here through print name okay self. By using okay print method I'm calling over here self first name and last name, and have created one more class okay as a student, and I'm calling okay here person also. From that it has been inherited, and here okay again I'm creating okay method using int self first name and last name, and here again I'm using okay my main parent class name person, that is self first name and last name, and here I'm creating an object by the name X. In that okay again I'm calling okay my class, that is student, and here what is stored in student, that is Zara and Hassan. So my object will be printed over here by the name Zara and Hassan over here. You can see the output. Note, we have successfully added the int function and keep the inheritance of the parent class. We have successfully added. Now you can see over here we have successfully added over here one more in the class student. Note, we have successfully added int function and keep the inheritance of the parent class, and we have kept the inheritance of the main, that is parent class over here, and we are ready to add functionality using int function. Now one more method is there. If I don't want it to call the parent class, I can use the super function over here. Python also has a super function that will make the child class inherit all the methods and properties using from its parent. So using a super function I can inherit all the method and property from the parent function. How we'll do it I'll show you. Okay, now here also I'm using int method self dot first name self dot last name, and definition here self I'm calling over here. I'm using print method okay by calling first name last name my method over here, and I'm using okay here class student, created one more class okay inherited from person. Now here I'm not using person over here. Now here you can see okay through super I'm calling. In the other program I'll show you. Here you can see super over here. Now here I have to call okay through a person, that was my parent class. Now what it says okay, now using the super function, Python also has a super function that will make the child class inherit all the methods and property from its parent. Now here I am in the earlier program I have to call okay my parent function. Now here through super I don't have to call, because through super function will make child class inherits all methods and property from its parent. Now I had created an object in that I am calling my class, that is student, not the parent class. In that I had stored Zara and Hassan, and I am printing my object okay. So what it will be printed over here, Zara and Hassan will be printed in my output. By using super function you do not have to use the name of the parent element. So I have not used the name of the parent element, directly I have used okay the super function. It will automatically inherit the method and property from its parent. So automatically it got inherited okay all the methods and properties. Now add properties, add a property called graduation year to the student class. Now your first name property is there, last name also is there, Here also I'm defining calling my method over here. In that also first name and last name property is there. Now I have to add one more property. Here again I'm not using my parent over here through super function. I'm calling over here because through super function it can inherit the complete element of my parent. So here first name and last name is there. Now again I'm calling my method self, because right now I can inherit all the properties and method from my parent class. Now I'm adding one more properties, that is 2020. So what will happen, I have created an object by the name X. Now in X, my class is right now student. In that Zara and Hassan is stored, but what I wanted to print, that is my graduation year. So what is stored in graduation year? That is 2020. So in the output, 2020 will be printed over here. You can see the output over here, 2020 has been printed. In the example, the year 2020 should be a variable and pass in the student class, and when creating a student object, to do so add another parameter in the int function. Now we'll do year, add a year parameter and pass the correct year when creating an object. So we are adding a year parameter over here. So adding one year parameter, class function, here method is there. So I'm calling object is there, I'm calling my method over here. Now here is my person here is my one more class I have created. This is my parent. Now I'm using super function over here. Now I'm adding what year, that is 2020. So here what will happen over here, after creating an object by the name X student Zara Hassan 2020. So here I just wanted to print what, that is what is the year, that is 2020. So 2020 has been printed over here. So here we had add properties, adding a year parameter. So here over there the word was properties and here the word was the parameter. The program is almost the same. Now add methods. Add a method called welcome to the student class. Now here again the class name is person. Here I have defined int self first name last name. I had used the method and objects over here. Now here I have created here one more class student, and that is inherited from my parent class. Again I am using super method over here. Now self graduation dot year is equal to year. Now I am defining over here add a method called welcome to the student class. Print welcome first name last name. First name I have defined, that is Zara. First I have to create an object in the class Zara I have defined over here, and the last name I have defined, that is Hassan, to the class of 2020 x dot welcome. So what I have defined over here, so same here I have to print over here. So now what it will be printed, welcome Zara Hassan to the class of 2020. Now we have completed our class and object. In this way we have learned in this tutorial Python Lambda, Python arrays, Python class on object, and Python inheritance. If you have any doubt you can always ask me. Thank you very much.